am Jacqueline Housel, a member of the League of Women Voters of the Greater Dayton area. I am here today with candidates running for the Miami Township Board of Trustees. The candidates are Drew Berry, Bob Matthews, and Terry Posey Jr. Drew Berry is unable to join us due to a prior commitment. We will start our interviews by giving the candidates 1 minute to tell us about themselves and why they want to serve on the Miami Township Board of Trustees. And we are going to start with Bob Matthews.
Thank you for being an informed voter by watching this video. And a special thanks to the League of Women Voters for supporting democracy by providing this opportunity. I'm Bob Matthews, the current Miami Township Fiscal Officer. I've owned my house in our house here in Miami Township for 20 years, where my wife and 2 children were raised. And I have a master's degree in computing science and from Texas A&M University. Plus, I hold 2 certifications in project management from the Project Management Institute, International Professional Association. My broad business experience and long residency with the township will allow me to deal with many of the difficult situations we have faced in this wonderful township. Miami Township is truly an exciting place to live and work. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to go to Terry Posey Jr. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve on the Miami Township Board of Trustees?
Good morning, and thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting this important forum. As you heard, my name is Terry Posey, and I am proud to be the incumbent candidate for Miami Township Trustee. I'm looking to continue the honor I have had serving our community as a trustee since 2020. My professional background is as a business litigator at a large Dayton law firm, and my experience serving the community through other local charitable and nonprofit organizations have given me a unique and critical perspective on fiscal management and upholding the public trust in every decision. My goal is to continue the work that we've started. I will remain focused on maintaining our high-quality public services, supporting our police and fire departments, and making smart, forward-thinking decisions that ensure a prosperous future for all residents. I'm committed to serve Miami Township with integrity and distinction. I ask for your vote to allow me to continue this work, and I look forward to this discussion. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I will now ask each candidate the same set of questions. You will have 2 minutes to speak to each question, and then I will move on to the next candidate and give them 2 minutes to respond. And we're going to start with Terry Posey. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing the township?
The biggest challenges facing the township are, as always, and I think I even answered this the same way 4 years ago, doing more with less. Township residents are understandably concerned about their property taxes increasing, even in the light of less or lower voted property levies. The property tax valuations have caused that. The township, on the other hand, is the necessity of making sure that the roads and public services are maintained as expected and at the values and levels they expect. In general, the township does an amazing job with this. The main challenges that we face at this point are making sure that the township's assets are updated and maintained at an appropriate level, given the funding we have. For roads, this is a challenge. There's not a specific separate road levy that addresses these and the ability to maintain the roads at the levels suggested by appropriate professionals. The police department and fire departments are well funded, and making sure that they use those funds in an appropriate fashion has been the focus of my efforts, both as a Miami Township trustee and as the Board of Trustees representative to the Miami Valley Fire District. The third thing that township residents preeminently expressed a response and interest in is maintaining parks. And in the past 4 years, we've developed a comprehensive parks plan and goals to help implement the goals in the comprehensive park plan to make sure the parks are a safe, fun, and updated place to visit, meeting all the township's residents' expectations. There are a lot of challenges, and as you've just heard, most of them involve fiscal responsibility, but transparency in government, making sure that decisions are made in public and for the public. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And now we're going to move on to to Bob Matthews, I'm sorry. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing the township?
Well, I would take issue with Terry's do more with less, because I think that we can do more with more. We need to look at additional revenue sources, which have not been examined. We need to look at our investments, which I believe are undervalued. Our return on our investments is not what it can be. So therefore, if we could work on expanding our revenue, but not necessarily expanding our taxes, and that is doable, as I'll discuss in a few minutes. That's the biggest thing. That is one of the bigger things. A big challenge that Terry didn't mention, but I'm sure he's aware of, is that we have in the state of Ohio right now looking at several different ways to cut property taxes. Well, Miami Township, and all the townships for that matter, get almost all their funding from property taxes. So if property taxes are reduced and we're legally not allowed to have income tax, there's going to be a future shortfall. So we need to be preparing now for that shortfall by being as efficient as possible in our expenses and looking at additional revenue sources. Thank you.
And thank you. Now we're going to move to a second question, and that question's first going to go to Bob Matthews. What should the township trustees do to address housing needs in the township?
Well, if we could reduce property taxes, that would make life easier for everyone in the township, and would also make it so that if we could reduce taxes, this would become a more desirable place to live. A more desirable place to live is going to drive a natural demand for building and houses where there's space. And right now we are expanding quite a bit in terms of new housing and apartments, especially around the area I live in. And there's plenty more open land that could be used. So I believe our zoning group does a great job right now of making it easy to get into the township. For builders, we work well with the builders already. So I would say work with builders, cut costs so we can reduce taxes and make the place more desirable. Thank you.
Okay, and now we're going to turn to Terry Posey. What should the township trustees do to address housing needs in the township?
Thank you. For those of you that don't know, Ohio townships are an unusual form of government. Townships and township trustees don't have the same powers that cities and municipalities do in terms of developing and coordinating housing efforts. They do have 3 channels in which to affect the housing available to the residents and the business community that surrounds it. They can affect zoning, planning, and community development. As Bob mentioned, our zoning department does do a great job. They've kept our zoning code up to date. We address current challenges as it pertains to zoning, and we make sure that our ability to enforce what our neighbors and our residents want to have is available to us by enforcing maintenance codes and making sure that the zoning code is as up to date as possible. As to partnership and collaboration, we don't have to work alone. We can work with a network of developers and builders interested in coming to the area. The apartment stock is very full in Miami Township, and there are limited available apartments for residents interested in living in the township, but not necessarily buying a house. Working with and encouraging developers to bring housing to the township is a priority and a goal, both for the township trustees and the administrative staff tasked with working with them. And the third element is advocating and educating. We do importantly want to make sure that township residents are proud of where they live. They know of the resources available to them, both to maintain their property and be aware of what the expectations are as to their neighbors, and making sure that they understand that they can communicate with their township staff to the extent their expectations aren't being met. There's a lot of opportunity to make sure that the residents of Miami Township have the housing stock and the housing maintenance that they desire and they deserve. Thank you.
And thank you very much. Now we're going to go to the third question, and Terry Posey, this goes to you first. Could you describe the skills and experience you will bring to the Township Board of Trustees?
Certainly. Thank you. As I mentioned, I do have quite a bit of experience on the job. I have served as a trustee since January 2020. That involved becoming a trustee just before the world changed with the pandemic, and local government was forever altered by the relationship between state shutdowns and the infusion of federal funds to help the local governments affected by these issues. As compared to the other candidates, I have significant experience in managing these issues, dealing with the staff on a daily basis, ensuring that positive decisions and transparent and effective government occurs in the stewardship of public money. That has occurred for the last 5 years, and if elected, I'd like to continue it for the next 4. In addition, my personal background is directly relevant to the skills needed for the job. I am a business litigator by trade, and what that means is I help businesses evaluate their decision-making as it pertains to disputes or interactions with other parties. That means when an issue comes before the township or a client of mine, we help talk about the best ways to resolve it and fix the problem. Sometimes that involves filing lawsuits, sometimes that involves negotiation, sometimes that involves looking for external partnerships. These are all things that I have done both for my clients in my business practice and for the township. It is an important opportunity to realize that you are working efficiently with other people's money, both in my day job and as a township trustee. And it is that mindset, critical mindset of positive thinking, collaboration, and efficiency, both in terms of the time needed and the expense needed to make sure the most positive outcomes are achieved. Thank you.
And thank you. Now we're going to turn to Bob Matthews. Could you describe the skills and experience you will bring to the Township Board of Trustees?
Yes, thank you. First, I had served about 10 years ago as a trustee, so I am as familiar about the same amount of time as Terry had in that role. In addition to that, for the last 2 years, roughly, I've been the fiscal officer for Miami Township, which gives me an even broader view than someone who's just served only as the trustee. That's given me a totally different view of the township, and compared to the other candidate who's not here today, who has no experience in either of those areas. Additionally, I have a lot of business experience in the Dayton area. I've worked for NCR Corporation, Dayton Power and Light, before it was AES, General Motors. I have a lot of business experience and ran my own consulting software business for 10 years, which gave me a lot of experience in negotiating. Not nearly as much as Mr. Posey because of his role, but enough that I think I can do it. Plus, I come from a slightly different angle on that than the other trustees do, because a lot of them are more into the, like Mr. Posey, are in the legal side of it. But there also needs to be an approach from a practical side, which I have. And so I think my negotiating skills are pretty good. My ability to look ahead long-term instead of just short-term, which is something I've seen missing in other people. So those are the main ones. Thank you very much.
Thank you. In closing, we'd like to provide each candidate with a minute for a closing statement. And for this, we're going to turn to Bob Matthews first.
Okay, thank you. So I've always heard the phrase, everyone talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. And so now the phrase is more like, property taxes are too high, but nobody really does anything about it. Well, I can do something about property taxes. Our current investments pay about 5%. In March, I set up to move a part of our investments to a perfectly legal United States bullion coins, and that would they pay over 10% in the last 10 years. So like I was saying earlier, we could have more without raising taxes if our investments were better handled. Previously, I was on the board for the cemetery, and I was able to double the investments there double the return through legal investments. And so if the trustees, when I tried to do that, the trustees blocked the transaction, and now we've lost $1 million, which we could have had over the last 5 years. With proper investing, we truly can reduce our property taxes and make the pie bigger. Instead of doing more with less, we'll do more with more. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to turn to Terry Posey Jr. A closing statement, please.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to participate in this forum, and thank you to the League of Women Voters. In my time as trustee, I've applied the same principles that I've used as a business litigator and community leader: a commitment to fiscal responsibility, a belief in transparent governance, and a dedication to serving with integrity. You just heard Mr. Matthews' plan to purchase gold coins. That plan has been declared illegal by the Ohio Auditor of State, the Ohio Attorney General, and one Ohio Common Pleas Court judge. Mr. Matthews has refused to acknowledge the illegality of this statement and the conclusions raised by the governing bodies that control the Ohio, that interpret the Ohio Revised Code and apply the laws to boards of trustees. It is this integrity that I bring a difference to, and I challenge Mr. Matthews in a court of law, and we have prevailed at every phase. I'm asking for your continued trust and your vote to serve another term as Miami Township trustee. We can build on our progress and ensure a strong and prosperous future for our community. Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you for your participation today, and good luck with your campaigns. The League of Women Voters encourages all candidates to run an issues-oriented campaign. Our goal is to educate the voting public and strengthen our elective political process. The annual Voters Guide will be distributed beginning the first week of October in the Dayton Daily News, AIM Media, suburban newspapers, and at local libraries, schools, and businesses. Early voting for the upcoming election begins on October 7th at your Board of Elections, or you can request an absentee ballot. However you decide to vote, your opinion matters and helps make our democracy work. Thank you.